I'm just going to read a brief prepared statement, then I'll answer any questions that you may have. The Calgary Police Service has charged a man in relation to child luring and sexual assault. In January of this year, a concerned parent contacted child abuse units after discovering text messages of a sexual nature on her child's cell phone. These messages contain child pornography. In the course of the investigation, officers found that the suspect's phone number was linked to an unrelated sexual assault that took place in Queen's Park Cemetery in July of 2014. Public complaints about similar notes found in the cemetery that were sexual in nature were also made known to police during the same time. Peter Anthony Goulden, 50 years of age, of Calgary, is charged with 2 counts of sexual assault, investigation to sexual touching with child under 16 years, sexual interference with child under 16 years, possession of child pornography, accessing child pornography, luring child by telecommunication, and make explicit material available to child. That's it for my statement. Are there any questions?
Can you describe what happened at the
cemetery? A lady was paying respects to a loved one and was approached from behind by a naked man who forced her to the ground and demanded that she take off her clothes. She was able to fight back and scream and yell and forced the offender to run away.
What were the notes that were found?
The notes that were found throughout the cemetery on fences, trees, gates, were describing sexual acts and acts of bondage, and with a cell number for people to contact.
How were you able to connect the two?
Through the child abuse detective working with the District 3 detective who had the initial investigation. They narrowed down the pool of suspects, and through investigative steps that I won't go into too many details about, we're able to identify Mr. Goulden as their main suspect and brought him in for questioning.
Had he been known to police previous, Mr. Goulden?
Not that I'm aware of.
So do you believe that these photos that were, or pictures that were put all over the cemetery were put up by him, the suspect?
That's correct.
Okay.
How long have these notes been being discovered?
The notes were discovered and complaints were made to the Calgary Police Service prior to July of 2014, so I'd say a couple months prior. And then unfortunately sexual assaults occurred.
You said sexual assault. Was it just that one incident with the woman, or were there others?
Only the one that we're aware of at this point.
And he fled from that.
Yes, she was able to cause enough of a scene, and he ran off into the bushes.
Have there been other sexual assaults or anything unusual other than the notes reported at the cemetery over the last year?
Not that I'm aware of.
So were they just notes at the cemetery, or were there photos as well?
Notes is my understanding.
And the 2 incidents were just connected recently, so was this man charged just recently with the Queen's Park Cemetery incident and this latest text incident?
Correct. He was brought in last week for questioning and charged for both offenses, and has been remanded into custody. In fact, is appearing in court this morning.
Do you know why he was leaving these notes?
I believe he was looking for sexual partners.
So they were essentially like ads, these notes in the cemetery.
Yeah, ads without fees being associated to them.
Is that how you connect the phone number? Did we use the number used for this?
That was part of the investigative steps that were taken, looking at the phone number that was left.
It was the same phone number that's linked to the child?
Yeah, there's a connection there between the phone number that was left in the cemetery and the phone number that's the child ended up communicating with this individual with.
The woman's description, did it help as well?
Yes, she provided a very good description, and a composite drawing was released last summer, and based on that release from the media, thank you very much, a number of tips came into the investigators, and like I say, over the course of months they were able to eliminate a number of suspects.
I guess it sounds kind of like a warning for parents, I guess, to be vigilant about who your child's talking to when it comes to cell phones.
Absolutely. It's we like to drive that point home every time we can. This is parents' opportunity to sit down with their child, know who their child's friends are, know where they're hanging out. You know, if they provided them a phone for safety purposes, make sure, you know, if the child is spending more time on this phone that is, you know, more than normal, talk to the child about what's going on in that child's life. And there's lots of resources out there for parents to research. The Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Center website has lots of resources for parents to tap into.
Is it believed he contacted any other children?
We're not aware of any other children, but like I say, we just charged him last week, and the investigation is ongoing.
Computers seized?
No computer seized, cell phone seized.
So did the accused have any personal contact with the child in this latest texting luring case, or was it just over text?
Texting and, unfortunately, personal contact.
Was the child known to the accused?
No. No, it was a stranger.
Is it personal contact?
Yeah, they met in person.
Was there a sexual assault then that happened with the child? Or-
Yes.
So the 2 counts of sexual assault are one from Queen's Park and one from
That's correct.
Where did that happen?
I don't have those details where the offense happened with the child.
Child, male or female?
A boy, male,
Do you have an age?
10 years of age.
Happened outside the home, can you say that? Or-
Yes, it happened outside the home. That's correct.
And when would that have happened?
January of this year, 2015.
Did the boy report that?
The mom reported it to the child abuse unit because, like I say, she was concerned about her son's behaviors surrounding the cell phone. Seemed to be overly possessive, spending a lot more time than usual on the cell phone, so she became suspicious of what was going on in his life.
Do you believe that Mr. Goulden was acting alone as far as the child pornography, or is he suspected maybe part of a ring? Do you know how far?
No, we believe, this stage of investigation, we believe he's acting alone.
Okay, well, do you have the date in July that it happens back to back?
All I have is July of,
I do that.
So, I'm sorry, and how did how did they, you might have said this already, I'm sorry, Fox, how did they two meet up? How did the man link up with the child?
you know, that's still to be determined, but we believe that the cell phone and the notes in the park had something to do with it.
Okay.
And why did it take so long to connect this man to Queen's Park Cemetery incident?
Well, like I say, the child abuse investigation only started in January of this year, and once the investigator began reviewing potential suspects, was alerted to the fact of this other investigation, and then it was a matter of collaborating with the other detective, who had already done a number of investigative steps to eliminate suspects that were identified by the public based on a composite drawing.
So the phone number left on the notes in the cemetery, you weren't immediately able to connect that to a certain person?
The phone number left in the cemetery didn't come back to a real person, like that we could identify. It was a fictitious name.
So the phone number was not the man's phone, the suspect's phone number?
In the end, it turned out to be the suspect was related to that phone number, but initially, like I say, the name provided to the cell phone carrier company was fictitious. So there was a number of investigative steps that had to be undertaken to determine the true owner of the cell phone.
I'm sorry, did you answer before about the child's age?
10 years.
10 years.
So we don't really know what the link is, but perhaps the child saw the phone number and called it as a prank? maybe, or-
That's the one investigative strategy we're working on, and probably call it more of a child's curiosity, which unfortunately turned into a crime of opportunity for the adult.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.